Hi, welcome to Something Good. Giving back on Give Tuesday. Okay, so I wanted to highlight my friend Cassandra Green from Atlanta, Georgia. I absolutely love her. She is an advocate for domestic violence, for cancer awareness, for social justice, for anything, you name it, she advocates for it. For those that are um, coming back into society from prison, for prison reform, all of it. She's been doing this for over 40 years. She works tirelessly to advocate for those who do not have a voice. And she gives so much of herself. And her ministry is Woww Ministries. And so I want to highlight my friend and bring awareness to her causes and her ministry. And I encourage you guys to go out and support it.
Hi, my name is Cassandra Alexander Green, and I am the founder and CEO of Wow Ministries and Wow Productions, WOWW Ministries and Wow Productions. We work in advocacy, civil and human rights work has been my area for 40 years, 40 years. I'm 62 and have spent most of my life fighting for the rights, civil and human rights of people in my neighborhood, my state, and my country. Advocacy is very important to me. I believe that unless we have people that will stand up for those that may have a voice but don't know how to use it, or for those that feel that like they have no voice. That is what I have spent my life doing. So a part of that, like I said, is standing for civil rights. I do that through working with different organizations around my community and around my state and around my country, because I believe that if you say that you stand for something, you must be willing to have your voice heard about those particular issues. So for me, that has always been a priority, whether it was voting, whether it was prison reform, whether it was domestic violence, human trafficking. I have spent my time fighting for those people that either, like I said, they have or they feel like they have no voice or they're afraid to use their voice. So I am that person that is willing to stand up and stand for those people. In doing so, it's been sometimes it can be a little dangerous because I do protests for different issues that I believe in and that I'm passionate about. When there's a civil rights or a human rights issue going on in my state or around my community that I feel like I could add something to by using my voice, I'm always open to doing that. I'm huge in volunteering. I work with the homeless. Uh, just I just believe that no one can do everything, but everyone can do something, and I try to do as much as I can to make sure that the things that are important to me are being looked at by those that can make the changes. And we all have a voice. We all can make those changes. But I always say, if you don't want to do it, then help people like me and others that are out there. We're in the trenches. We don't mind going in the trenches. We'll go there and we will fight for the things that we want to see changed in our communities. So it's up to each and every one of us to decide what is important enough to you that you would stand up and let your voice be heard for those particular issues. For me, there are multiple things. For some people, there's just one particular issue that they focus on. That has not been the case for me. Civil and human rights is what I fight for, whether whether it's here or whether it's at the state legislator's office or state capitol, wherever I can let my voice be heard, that is what I'm willing to do. So, in saying that, over the 40 years that I have been an advocate and an activist, because I feel like I operate in both areas as an activist and as an advocate. And advocacy is important because I can be in a place and I can speak on behalf of the people that I'm standing for, whether it's women that are in domestic violence. I can let my voice be heard for that. Whether it's homelessness, how do we get people off of the streets and into places where they feel like they're safe and that they can pick their lives back up from whatever they may have been through. All of these different issues are extremely important to me, and a lot of times it takes legislation in order to get the changes that we want to see done in a lot of these situations. And on the activism side, I believe in marching protests. I believe that we can let our voices be heard in a nonviolent way. I believe that you can let your voice be heard, and people will recognize and they do identify when they see people protesting or marching down the street, whatever the method that they're doing, where there are groups of people. I've even done single single activism where I've marched at the state capitol by myself with my sign, and proud to do it, and my little voice, yelling that we need change about certain issues. So I've done that. I've gone to the Department of Labor here in Georgia, where I live, Atlanta, Georgia, and I've marched for weeks upon weeks at the Georgia Department of Labor because of the situation of people not being able to receive their unemployment during COVID. It was crazy. I mean, weeks and weeks and months going by, and people are not receiving their unemployment. It was unacceptable. So, just if it's just my one voice, I'm going to get out there and I'm going to let my voice be heard. So I believe that we can make a difference, and we do make a difference when we let people see us. Because if one person sees you and says, "Hey, what is she standing there for, or what is she marching about, or why is she crying out like that?" Then they may pay attention. They may pass that on to someone else. That person may tell someone else. And so now we have a chain reaction going on where there are people actually talking about the different situations that are going on in our communities and in our state and in our country on all levels. So that is what is very important to me. And like I said, the advocacy. It has been a passion of mine. Domestic violence is one of my main areas of work because not only am I a survivor, I consider myself a conqueror of domestic violence, because what I've done is I took what I went through, I helped other people. And when you do that, you become more than a conqueror, because not only did you survive whatever you went through, now you've conquered it to the point that you can help somebody else to get through. So I always believe that letting your voice be heard is very important, and we cannot wait for someone else to do it. And I think that's what a lot of people do. They sit back and say, "Hey, I'm going to wait till somebody else does it. Somebody else is going to do it." No, you can't take that mentality. You have to be the change agent for whatever it is that you believe in. So then you stand up and cry aloud and spare not, because that's what I believe in doing. I believe in making a big noise so that people would hear and pay attention to what I am doing. So Prison reform is another area that I've worked in. I have worked in federal, state, local jails for over 30 years. And I believe that it's important for us to let our presence be known when it comes to people in prison, returning citizens. That's the name that we're using now to describe them. I believe that someone has to speak up and say, okay, it's too many, especially people of color, that are filling our jails when they have committed crimes on the same level as maybe another race, but they get double the time that the other race may have gotten. That's a problem. So then that means that we need to have laws looked at. We need to put people in office that will be fair and impartial when they're giving sentences to people so that it does not look like there's such a huge disparity as it is right now in our prison system. So that's one of the other things that I've fought for. I have I direct. I use the media. I use film to bring about my message for the different areas that I fight for. And I believe that social media, filming, getting it on camera, doing documentaries, I believe that those are some of the ways that we can let our voice be heard very loudly, reach a lot of people in a lot of different arenas, and in media is the perfect place for that. So I've spent several years doing projects like the Moores Ford Bridge lynching reenactment. I actually direct the only lynching reenactment in the world, an annual lynching reenactment. I've directed it for 13 years here in Georgia, and it is the story of the last unsolved mass lynching in U.S. history. So I believe that it's important for us to let our voice be heard, cry loud, spare not, because what we say has power and we can make a difference in our communities. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'll talk to you soon and have an awesome day.
Black body swinging in the southern breeze. Strange fruit hang from the poplar tree. We will not be denied justice in this particular situation. It doesn't matter how long it takes. We need to know, the families need to know what happened, who did it, and we don't even care why, because they were killed, they were lynched. So we don't even care why you did it, but we need to know who did it. That's the most important thing. Thank you all so much for coming out. Thank you to my cast. I'm going to give you guys just a couple of minutes, just not even a good minute. If you want to take pictures of them down here, please do it quickly because there are ants on the ground and we need to get.
I'm glad that you're still here. The link for Woww Ministries is going to be in the description. Go out and support, donate, volunteer your time, create your own foundation, organization, give back. Bye. Like and subscribe.